So that's the answer to the question. Put a plan together for the heartbreak if it comes, and make sure that plan is constructive. She's gone now. Like, she moved. I didn't know where she lived. That was it. And I couldn't sleep.
Need something else to do. So I thought, gym at 6 a.m., gym at 3 p.m., gym at 8 p.m. I had nothing else to do but fight. So I took all that trauma, all that heartbreak, and I molded it into becoming a world level combatant.
Prove that she made a shitty mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and become a fucking millionaire. And then she's going to look around when she's 50 pounds heavier in a year's time. You're like, motherfucker, I let him go.
Life's going to hurt you, and how you use that pain is completely and utterly up to you. You can use that pain to galvanize yourself as a man and become a better man you've ever been. I'm not saying that I'm only successful because of some chick.
Yeah.
Everything we've been saying on this podcast is true. Trauma's going to come, pain's going to come, and you have to use it in a constructive way. I'm not telling you to tell him to avoid the pain. I'm saying that when it comes, make sure it's used in a constructive way. And still to this day, that's all I would ever do. If something bad happened to me and I got really upset, I would find the most constructive possible outlet. And that's a conscious decision. You have to have the emotional control to make a conscious decision in that direction. I'm saying that every single time that I was heartbroken, I never wasted a second. I was never wallowing. That's what I'm saying.
Especially as a young man.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the show. You're going to get your heart broken as a young man. I've had it happen to me.
Yep.
We've all had it happen to us. And it's not even about anger towards the girl. It's 7 years later, because as a man, you're going to get your value later.
Yes.
Right. So if you use that energy to put all that work in, these girls, they come back around, and I love to see them come back.
Anybody who tries to get revenge on a woman,
way.
That's incel energy. That's the wrong way of looking at it. The only revenge you can get on a woman who breaks your heart is success. Success is the best revenge. Just level up slowly. And when she messages you, you got two choices. You can either say, sorry, baby, you're not my type anymore. Boom, you win. Or you could again, one last spin on the Ferris wheel. Yeehaw.
When I was 20, me and my girlfriend broke up. I was with her for 4 years. Heartbreak, depression, sadness. These are all fantastic motivators. I'm telling you why they're a fantastic motivator. You go to a guy that's heartbroken. He has all the motivation in the world to send 300 text messages. He has the motivation. He's putting it in the wrong place.
Women are highly unpredictable. So, and women are not money motivated. So women are absolutely and utterly motivated by fun and attention. Those two things. If a woman has a lot of attention and a lot of fun in her life, she's uninterested in anything else. So when I say women aren't money motivated, what I mean is they don't want to make their own money. And I know this from experience. If I had a girl who would sit down and make, let's say, $1,000 in 2 hours, I'd sit and think, okay, you can make $10,000 a week. She'd think I only have to work 2 hours and have the rest of the week off. They have a completely different attitude towards being rich. They want a rich man because they want fun, but they don't want to have their own money or pay for things. They don't care. They just want fun to be facilitated. They're uninterested in the cost of anything. Yeah, I've done this many times with very many beautiful girls. I've been on boats in Dubai with supermodels. I've had girls in my Lamborghini. Because I've got a bit of money. And I've said to them, how much do you think this costs? They don't even know. They don't even know how much a Lambo costs. They don't know how much a boat costs. They don't know how much the dinner is. They don't know that the table in the club is $5,000. They have no concept of money in the way a man has concept of money, because it's just provided for them at the top. If they're top level, they have no idea what money even is. They're going after what the money provides.
Right.
So they're going after a guy who has the ability to take a time off work to go skiing. They're going after a guy who has the ability to fix their problems if they have a problem. They're going after a guy who has status or is high power or someone that makes them feel important standing next to. They don't actually care about what's in the bank or how much you spend. And we've seen this time and time again. And you can look at guys who are unable to provide security, but they give a girl lots of fun, like the gardener who's banging the old rich wife. So I think women are just completely and utterly motivated by their emotions. And if you can spike an emotion in them one way or another, then you're going to be able to affect her in a positive way. I think I've said this time and time again, even if a woman hates you, you're in a better position than if she's apathetic towards you. Women are generally apathetic towards men. They ignore men. They don't answer their messages. They don't care about anything. If you can get any emotion out of a girl, even if it's hate, you're going to be all right. You can do anything you want to a woman except bore her.
You're Joe Schmo, average in nearly every way, in Starbucks working. You ain't getting a DM ever. You girls will never be lonely. As much as you might be unhappy with the possible suitors, you can at least out and flirt if you feel sad. Yeah. There are men out here in the world who have genuine loneliness. Men with absolutely zero partners, brutally depressing.
You don't need money. You need the ability to provoke emotion. Now, if you have money in the bank, that's a bit easier. It's a bit easier to provoke emotion if you can say, let's go Disneyland tomorrow. But it's not about the money. It's about the spontaneity. It's about for provoking the emotion. This is why girls like funny guys, because it makes them laugh. You know, it's provoking an emotion out of them. There's this, in the red pill Twitter, there's this view of women that they're ultra hypergamous and that, you know, they're going to chase the best they can get it, et cetera, et cetera. In my experience, if a woman can see you have ambition and you're genuinely pushing hard, then she'll be fine. Now, what a woman doesn't want is a guy who's in X place and isn't trying to get anywhere else. But when I was a struggling fighter and I couldn't pay the rent, I was banging girls left, right, and center. And they were loving me and they were loyal to me. Just because they could see I had drive and they saw I was a safe bet and I was going to get somewhere and they respected me. This is the basic dynamic of male females. If a woman respects you, she wants to have sex with you. It doesn't matter if a woman likes you. It doesn't matter if a woman, when I said earlier, women hate me. I have women who dislike me, but they respect me. It's very basic if you break it down. So if you're throwing all your attention away without getting sex in return, what value does your attention have? Zero. And this is how you end up, because it suffers from inflation like anything else. And this is how you end up with guys who are buying presents, taking girls on holiday, doing everything for them, but their attention is so low value that it means less than one text from me after 3 months.
I've got accolades. I've got everything, right? My life's great. But life as an average man, Joe Schmo, is literally horrible. And I don't think most women understand this, because you know what the biggest problem about being an average dude is?
What?
If you're an average dude and you work in KFC and you ain't shit and you get a chick, you know what the problem with that is? That means you're chick average dudes.
Bam.
So now everybody's competition.
The reality of life as a man is that you have to build your value. People say to me all the time, oh yeah, Tate, you get girls. I said, I got girls because I became a kickboxing world champion. That's thousands of hours in the gym. Do it myself. So you have to build it as a man. This is just the unfortunate reality. If you're not prepared to do any work at all, you're going to suffer. So you can't hack having a personality. You can't trick a girl into thinking you're something you're not. If you want a woman to really respect you, then be a man worthy of respect. But I've been on dates with girls where they've just pushed it too far. I've been sitting there and they're like, oh, you know, guys like you think this and blah, 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 just insulting me basically after about 5 minutes. I was extremely polite. I said, look, I'm sorry. You're an independent woman, so you can pay for your food. I'm uninterested in speaking to you any longer. I'm leaving. And when I left, I've never had a girl chase me so hard. Don't disrespect me. I'm not taking you on a meal to be disrespected. And guys take this crap from girls all the time. I see it all the time. Girls making fun of them, or girls on a date, or a girl talking to other guys while she has a boyfriend. I mean, I know the modern world says that's cool. To me, that's absolute disrespect. You're with me and you love me and you want to text this dude all day, and I'm supposed to sit here and let you? She's testing your caliber as a man. Mm-hmm. You either stand up and say, get out my house and I never want to see you again, or stop texting that guy. I think Instagram is the number one thing that nobody talks about in the dating space, and how it's completely changed everything. It's globalized the sexual dating market. If you were a beautiful girl from Moldova 10 years ago, you were trying to get the most desired guy in your town in Moldova. If you're a beautiful girl from Moldova now, you're on a yacht in Dubai because some sheikh has inboxed you because you have 250,000 followers. The whole sexual marketplace has been globalized to the point where anyone who's genuinely a 9 or a 10, you can look at these girls and you look and you see their travel schedule. You're talking about $1 million a year, the place these girls are going. Hey, do you want to come to Dubai? No, I don't want to be left with you. It's creepy. Okay, bring 5 of your friends. These sheikhs will blow 30 grand and fly her and all her friends out just to see. And then they'll have one date and then they don't get along. And they don't care. The money being thrown around at these chicks, it doesn't matter to them. So these girls at that kind of level, Instagram has changed the game. And it's changed it to a point where the idea of some 10 who's like humble and doesn't really know her own value and just wants a nice man, that is long gone. Beautiful females aren't going to the normal dive bar and just waiting for a dude to talk to them. Like, why would they? They can just, if they want a date any day of the week, they load up their Instagram profile. They see who's messaged them with a blue tick, or who's messaged with a bunch of followers, or who messaged them with a profile that looks interesting, and they can get their date. Or even if they don't want a date, even if they're just a bit sad and want some validation, they can just reply to a few dudes. It's changed everything. So I teach my guys all the time, look, your Instagram profile is probably the easiest way to get laid today. Instagram's the ultimate dating tool. Even if you haven't got an interesting life, if you take cool pictures and you take a lot in a few different places, make it look like you travel, even if you cheat and buy followers, who gives a shit? Make yourself look like an interesting person. You'll talk to more girls through Instagram DMs than you ever will in a career or day game. So I see this all the time from like red pill guys. They'll say like, oh, that 19-year-old bimbo is just as valuable as that billionaire. It may not be fair. She may have got it easy, and we may not like to admit it, but she got the genetic gifts that make her just as valuable as Mr. Rich Guy. And this is the reality of the world. So beauty is absolutely a commodity. And for every commodity, there has to be an exchange. What can you offer in exchange?
If you have Joe Schmo and his chick, Joe Schmo gets 0 DMs a year and possibly 1 chick a year who might talk to him. His average ass chick, her inbox is still full.
Damn.
She still has unlimited options. Maybe they ain't great options, but she still has options. And this is the point. This is why men struggle in breakups more than women. How many times have you been with a guy and after the breakup, he's blowing up your phone? Do you know why? Because you can go out to the club the same day and get a new guy. Even though that guy was still a cool dude, he's going to be lonely for months now. That's why he's blowing up your phone. It is harder as a man. It's a harder game as a man from head to toe. So if you're out here as a man and you have no battle in your life, no conquest in your life, no form of war in your life, then what you did it. And it doesn't have to be physical. Physical is the best example of it. So every woman wants a boxer or a cage fighter, but this is the testament to the problem of the modern world, right?
Right.
Every single man watching this knows that women want fighters. Every single man watching this would love to be able to say he's a fighter, but 99% of the men watching this will not go fight. Because they are afraid. They're all cowards. They'll make up every excuse under the sun. So if you want to have a woman who truly respects you, you need to put yourself through war in some form.
How does one become a ladies' man?
Well, it's simple. You know what? And it's super simple. I don't think there are any tricks and there are any hacks to it. If you were to ask men the same question, if you wanted to give a woman advice on how to get attention from all the high value men in the world, the answer would be a virtuous, super beautiful 10 out of 10 high value women. So I don't think it's a trick because I don't try to get women. I feel like I try to become the best version of myself I can be, and then women will naturally come to you. And that's as simple as that. And I know it sounds easy. It's actually the hardest answer in the world because it's the answer no one wants to hear. Try to be the best version of yourself. It's as simple as that. Work out in the gym, read something, learn something, become interesting. You know, become wealthy, of course, because the wealth comes with a fun lifestyle. Women love fun.
Yes.
That's why they like fast cars. That's why they like when you take nice vacations, because women love fun. And when you're that guy, you'll be surprised how easy it is. If you're sitting there lonely, if you're truly lonely and you can't get any women, I can't teach you anything. Because if you had the basics, you wouldn't be lonely. It's not actually the outside perception you have. I will walk around the city occasionally if I just finished training in sweatpants and, you know, sneakers or whatever. And I know people know me, but let's even talk 3-4 years ago when maybe I wasn't so well known, but I was still dressing very well in my free time. It's how you feel in and of yourself. You know, if I saw a beautiful woman sitting there at the mall sipping a coffee and I was dressed in, you know, my beard was all messy. I had a hood up and I was in like sweatpants. The confidence, you haven't maximized your own confidence, if you know what I'm saying. When you're dressed really, really well, you just had a fresh haircut, you know, you feel like a different person. So it's how it makes you feel first and foremost. Like you could do anything. You put on a good suit. It's the same reason. I mean, this is universal across human nature. This isn't something specific to men. It's specific to women as well. It's every single person in the world. Women will do their makeup and do their hair and put on a nice dress, and then their personality, you'll know when you're hanging out with them, seems different. They're more full of their confidence. They're more their natural self. But definitely it's perception as well. People take you more seriously. People are more likely to stop and listen to what you have to say. You know, if you're dressed like a homeless person and you try and disturb someone when they're walking past you, they think you want $1. People are much more likely to listen to what you have to say. It also makes you more memorable. Also makes you more memorable.
A lot of guys don't dress up.
Keep in mind, because you go for a job interview, you have to understand, even if you just bought your basic kind of shirt from a store and some pants and some shoes and you think you're dressed nice, that's like the standard issue job interview uniform. You know, the guy who's doing the job interview, I know it's special to you. I know you've prepared. I know you think, oh, fuck, I really need to get this job. He's seen 40 people today, 50 people today. Who was the guy in the really nice suit? That stands out, you know? So also it burns you into people's minds and memories much more.
Yeah.
When people say the word Tristan Tate, oh yeah, he always wears nice suits. And let me tell you something. When you are dressed very well, You aren't in a place, you become the place. You become part of the ambiance of the place. Let's say you take the fanciest restaurant you could think of. Imagine a very fancy restaurant, right? And you walk in there and everyone's in beach shorts and Crocs and baseball t-shirts. It ruins the ambiance of the restaurant. So you're also doing your part to add to the aesthetics of a nice location. So if you go somewhere like Monaco to the casino, you can't get in wearing a baseball shirt and Crocs. They won't let you in. Doesn't matter how much money you have. But you go there dressed like me, or I'd probably dress better than this if I went to the casino. I'd be bow tied up and everything. I'm adding to the aesthetic of the place by just being a man in a $30,000 tuxedo standing by the bar sipping drinks. I'm adding to the place. Whereas if you go somewhere looking for a bum, like looking like a bum, you're subtracting from the aesthetics of a beautiful place. And you can get a good suit for $300, $400, $500 if you go to Hugo Boss or something. But you can get much cheaper than that. And if it fits you well and you're in decent shape. Yeah. And if you're in decent shape, that's the key. If you
gotta be in shape.
If you work, it's like t-shirts. It's like t-shirts. You wear a plain black t-shirt and you're in good shape versus wearing a Versace t-shirt that costs $900, but you're fat as fuck. But you know what's the most important? Yeah. Don't be a geek. Because it's the man inside the suit. Yes, it's the man inside the suit. You give me a t-shirt and shorts, and you put some of these dorks who hate on me in a $25,000 suit, and watch who gets the women, watch who gets the business contract, watch who will pass any job interview. Me in my shorts. So rule number 1, don't be a geek. Women are always interested in learning new stuff. Yes. Women are always interested in hearing new things that they find interesting. And it always depends on the vehicle of delivery. Yes. You know, it's the vehicle of delivery. If you're a little nerd who's like, oh, well, women should like me. I know lots of stuff. I read lots of books. Yeah, but you're a little dork with a pencil neck. Women aren't interested in even sitting down next to you, let alone listening to anything that comes out of your mouth. If they think, I might want to sleep with this guy, because you have to understand, before dates, especially when it's your 3rd, 4th, 5th date, the decision to sleep with you, go to bed with you, give you what you're after is already made usually by women before you go. So you just have to go out and freestyle it. If you're sitting there saying interesting stuff that she doesn't know, will she remember it? No. Will she talk about it with her friends? No. But they find things they don't know incredibly interesting. So yeah, become an interesting guy. When you're not looking for something serious, which none of you young people really should be, have fun.
I got one more question.
And when you're trying to have fun, don't ask what you don't want to know. Like, girls lie and girls aren't honest. So if you're 21, the girl you're dating or the girls you're trying to hook up with or whatever aren't probably going to be the girls that you marry. Yeah. You know, if you meet a girl and you think, oh, this is suspicious, why is her handbag so expensive, blah, blah, maybe just hang out, eat dinner with her, have fun with her, and when it ends, it ends. Maybe don't try to be, hey, what are you actually really doing? You're 21, shut up. One, she doesn't have to explain herself to you, but 2, you're not in the position where you can offer something so serious. It's only when you finally establish yourself and you're looking for those girls that you perhaps, want to settle down with, want to get married with, want to start a family with, where you need to be analyzing her past. So that's a game to play for the older dudes, I feel, rather than you youngsters. A lot of guys are like 19. How do I find a good girl? Maybe just, become a millionaire and find one when you're 28. Maybe just shut the fuck up about finding a good girl. Yeah. If she'll sleep with you when you're 19, maybe that's good enough for now. I think the simple advice is accountability and self-reflection. What I would like you to do after watching this wonderful show, go to your bedroom, take off your shirt, strip down to your underwear, look at yourself in the mirror. Pause. Speak to yourself for 10 minutes. Think, if I didn't have this nice house and I wasn't stood here in this particular house with the Lamborghini outside and I wasn't this rich, what about me would women want? And if the answer is nothing, then you're only going to attract the women who are into your money and your money only. Because I've got loads of money. And I understand that women enjoy my company. They like being around me. They like listening to me. So if you have nothing but money, then that's what you're going to get, the girls who are after your money. You have to up your game in every single way and stop throwing the money around. And then you'll meet the girls who like you because you're strong and fit, who like you because you're smart, who like you because you're charming, who like you because you dress well, who like you because, I don't know, maybe you have class, you have etiquette, you have poise, you take them to things that they don't know, you take them to the opera instead of this club. You'll find those special girls when you are a man that those kind of girls will want. But let me tell you something. Most women I know are smarter than the millionaire streamers, the clowns who talk nonsense and do bullshit content. They're aware. Most women I know are smarter. Yeah. So you take someone smarter than you, who's after your money, she's going to get it. You know what? I'm actually quite a good specimen of man. I'm good looking enough. I'm strong enough. I'm fit enough. I'm interesting enough. Yeah, I could see why women like me. If you can genuinely reflect in that way and you're honest to yourself and you're right, then you should be meeting good women. So of course they get the girls who are just after their money. I don't blame the girls. Everyone's going to complain about gold diggers. You're a skinny little pencil neck dweeb with nothing interesting to say. You're not manly. You're not physically attractive. You don't speak well. What else should they want? Yeah. What else should they want? They don't feel protected around you. They don't feel safe with you. Of course they want the money. It honestly doesn't bother me like it bothers you, because I think this is a dog-eat-dog world. And I think if you're going to make yourself a target, because the answer to their problem, they think the answer to their problem is more clout, more money. I don't know. Maybe the good girl's going to come along. The answer to their problem is 3 years of hard work that they're not going to do. They're not going to do it. And they know that's the answer. They know that's the answer. 3 years of hard work is the answer to their problem, but they're not going to do it. So am I going to get mad at the at the lion for picking on the weakest gazelle?
Nope.
I'm not, because that's the way the world is. You know, I think the younger men should be seeing this, being like, oh, we got finessed by this girl. Okay, cool. And if they run into some money, they should be able to see. You can learn from bad examples just as much as you can learn from good examples. So the bad examples are out there for a reason. And it doesn't upset me to see. It upsets me when I've had friends who are really great guys, really hardworking dudes, try to be the best version of themselves, who've gone through bad divorces, who've gone through bad breakups. And yeah, that's sad. And it's sad to see women take advantage of men who are actually trying their best. But if you want to be the lame gazelle walking around with a limp, the lion's going to eat you. I don't actually feel sorry for them, and I don't care, because they know the answer to the problem. Everyone knows the rules to the game already. Everybody knows that if you wake up and you're lazy and you sit around on your phone, you scroll on TikTok for 4 or 5 hours, you go to work at your normal job, you work your shift when there's nothing wrong with hard work and there's nobility in working any job, and then you go home and you do nothing and you watch TV, you know you're not going to make it. It's not actually something that I need to tell anybody. So true. And they do this to me on Super Chats all the time. And they do this to Andrew specifically, because Andrew is a more accomplished fighter than me. They were like, hey, Andrew, give me some advice on how to be a good kickboxer. Is there a gym near your house? Why aren't you there right now? Why weren't you there yesterday? Everyone already knows the answers, and they search, unfortunately, for cheat codes, for magic words that I'm going to tell you that are going to make you rich. You have to outcompete everybody else, because there are only so many, although dollars can be printed in an unlimited amount, there's only so much wealth in the world. There are only so many Lamborghinis that are built every year. There are only so many mansions in every single country. There are only so many private jets and so many beautiful women and so much gasoline and fuel and food and caviar and all the crap that everyone wants. And there's only so much gold and so many Pateks and so many Rolexes that are made. You have to outcompete other people to get the things that you want. You know us. I am glued to my laptop and phone. All I do is work, and all Andrew does is work. So the fact that we have shown such amazing results coming from where we come from, there's no magic spell, there's no hocus pocus. I'd go back to my younger self and I'd say, yeah, keep it up, because you're definitely going to make it, because that young guy who was broke is now me. Oh, the worst advice is great. The worst advice exists everywhere in the universe, and you hear it all the time. The worst advice, I don't know if the people in charge of the world put this out here on purpose, but you see it every single day. Some flowers take longer to bloom. Don't worry, your time will come. If you're not where you want to be today, don't worry. It's gonna happen. Your time's gonna come. Your ship's gonna come in. That's the worst shit I've ever seen. And it's on the internet every day. You're going to start seeing it now. You're going to start seeing it. It's on the internet everywhere. You can just scroll past it. You haven't taken in the bullshit.
Just
bro, it's terrible. Wow. And for any young person to sit there whose life isn't going right, who had a failed relationship, they're 21, working a dead-end job, but to see on the internet, don't worry, some flowers take longer to bloom. You're going to make it one day. Your time will come. And God, okay, great. Sigh of relief. My time will come. The internet said so. If you buy into that, you deserve to be poor forever. Like, panic mode is the best mode to be in. Things aren't quite right. Life sucks. My girlfriend just left me. Can't pay my rent. Panic mode. Fuck the internet. Some flowers take longer to bloom. Fuck, my time is going to come. Panic. Panic and succeed. That's the worst advice I've ever seen. Happiness is the purpose of life, but not for yourself. Let me make sure that my children are happy. Let me make sure my mother is happy. Let me make sure any woman who comes into my life is happy. Let me even, because men don't have each other's backs these days, make my friends, my male friends, as happy as I can. But nothing about my quest for happiness is about, I guess, personal happiness. I do the things I like to do. I like to drive fast cars. I do these things because they entertain me. But I don't wake up every day trying to be happy. So I don't think happiness is the purpose of life for men. I think men should be trying to make everyone else happy. It's very ironic, actually, that they'll call old-fashioned men like me who want to provide for their women and not maybe have their woman have a job and provide for his family in the traditional way, they'll say like, oh, you just want your woman to be a slave for you. Okay, she might make a few sandwiches. Okay, she might cook a few meals. She might change a few diapers. But if I'm working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, I am the slave. Yeah. I serve people. That's what I do. The people in my life, I serve them. And by exchange, they serve you back. Your daughter can make you happy. Your wife can make you happy. Girlfriend, mother, they can make you happy too. And just seeing the smiles on their faces is often enough for men. Success is a form of revenge. Success is the best form of revenge. I don't believe in getting revenge on anybody. I've had people screw me over for money, break my heart, upset me. Yeah, but I don't do it for the revenge. It just naturally happens. Being angry at someone is like holding a burning stone in your hand with the intention of throwing at them. Like, it might do them some damage, but it will do you more damage first. I don't hold on to these. I didn't need fuel to go and make something of myself. It's just naturally happened as a form of revenge. But success is a form of revenge. I think it's the only form of revenge.
What would you say are the top 5 things which a man could do to make himself more attractive to women?
I think number one has to be get in shape. Mm-hmm. It has to be get in shape. I mean, obviously you take getting in shape more seriously than almost anyone I know, but even myself, like I was out of shape at the beginning of this year because I had some problems with my arm that I was fixing and I couldn't train. I just looked at myself in the mirror, even though I wasn't in horrible shape, just thinking, Jesus Christ, this is abysmal. So and I think that the standard the standard you set on yourself is what's attractive. Yes, the great body and the physical shape comes with it, but I feel like women are attracted to that in general. I mean, there are athletes, there are boxers who, they're a bit fat, MMA fighters, a lot of them, look at some of the heavyweights, are not in the best shape in terms of bodybuilding aesthetically, but the fact that they're up every day learning how to fight, working, training in the gym, it does something to your mind as well as your body that women find attractive. So that has to be number one. More attractive to women, learn how to talk, learn how to be funny, learn how to deal with women. Some people just have no idea how to speak to women and how to be around women. Understand that, I don't know how many this is, understand that male psychology and female psychology are very, very different. Some people with no experience with women, they will think that women think like men, which is one of the biggest mistakes that I think people make in general. Young guys are literally, they'll send pictures of their dicks or naked pictures to girls they like. No. Mm-hmm. You'd like it if she sent you a naked picture. And even if you're flirting and she seems interested in you, maybe she's interested in you, don't send her a picture of your dick. Like that's correlating male and female psychology in a bad way. That's just an example. I don't know.
I think for me, what I've experienced is obviously being in shape can help.
That's super.
But that's not gonna get you.
It's
all
not, because
the way.
I know guys who are out of shape who get loads of beautiful women.
Yeah, I think what has helped for me is, like you said before, just being able to have a conversation, be interesting, share stories, ask them questions, be funny.
Yeah, women love to talk about themselves.
Being funny is underrated as well. You don't have to try too hard, but have a little bit of a sense of humor, make them laugh. If you can make them laugh, then
you can make them do anything.
Yeah, they're yours.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know. We both learned a lot for sure from our experiences.
Yeah. And if you're bad with women, date more women.
Mm-hmm.
Find women who will date you and date them. Like with anything, kickboxing, martial arts, business, physical training, you will get better the more you do it. So if you're 18, 19 and you're shit with women, ask an ugly woman out. Mm-hmm. Cool. Stop trying to aim for the hot ones, because the hot 18-year-old girls will date people like me that are interested in you. Find an ugly chick, date her, and maybe you'll fall in love, maybe you won't, but it doesn't matter. As you go through relationships and experiences with women, you'll learn more about women. So, yeah, don't just and what was I going to say? No, that's it. I was gonna go down a whole other rant, but I won't.
I was going to ask as well. So for people who are quite shy, are more introverted, do you have any advice for them when it comes to networking and getting themselves out there.
The same advice I have for procrastinators, because I was shy once. When I was 17, 18, I was shy. It wasn't so much with business networking because I didn't know anybody important, but I was shy to go up and talk to girls and stuff. And without the internet and without dating apps and all the little cheat codes that shy people use and men use now, they're crutches that people lean on, I just understood I'm not going to ever get laid if I don't go up and talk to that girl. So the advice I have for people who are too shy to put yourselves out there, too shy to approach women, too shy to, try to, pitch a business deal to somebody important, then good. Have fun staying poor and lonely, because it's especially when you're young, it's not easy. And it does take some balls, but just go and do it anyway. The worst that people can do is say no. That was something in my mind, actually. People used to tell me that. Go talk to the girl. The worst you could do is say no. And that was it. Sometimes they'd say no. And that's the way it is.
And the what if will kill you afterwards.
The what if
you'll be thinking,
the what if will absolutely
pussied out.
So yeah, and if you never are going to learn those skills and you're never going to take a shot in the dark, then good. Have fun staying poor and have fun staying lonely and have fun with your Pornhub subscription. And also don't be retarded. Like, some people think I'll say this, and some people are so retarded they'll come up to me with like papers and be like, yeah, you said people didn't take the initiative. Here's my business proposal. But I'm like, just leave me alone. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, just if you don't have confidence, fake confidence. Confidence is the one thing you can fake, and people believe you have it. If you I'm shy, go talk to the girl. Okay. If you actually walk up and talk to her, then you're not shy. You've spoken your confidence into existence. So yeah, and a lot of people won't ever do that, and I have no help for them. What can I possibly tell them that's going to fix them? Nothing. But you're going to be lonely and you're going to be broke if you stay that way.
You have to almost look in the mirror and just tell yourself that you are the man.
Yeah.
You have to believe you are the person that you want to be.
Absolutely.
And just by thinking that, then you feel as though whatever situation you're in, you're supposed to be in the situation.
The person I want to be wakes up at 7 and he trains for 2 hours. The person I want to be wouldn't let that pretty girl walk past him without introducing himself and saying hello. The person I want, so okay, good. So you're going to wake up and lay in bed and then not talk to the pretty girl. Then you'll never be the person you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Awesome.
Do you have a little bit of a system you can share on how to make money? I know we've got cobratate.com. We'll keep shouting it out. But any tips for someone who's ready, but they don't yet know the how?
Completely. So we teach it inside of the real world, of course. I keep mentioning it because it's so important. But there are 3 keys, I believe, to making money. The word of the day. First one's perspicacity. Most people go through life and they do not pay attention. I've said this before and I want to stick by it because it's so important. You need to pay attention to every single time you spend money, because you cannot make money. You're not the Federal Reserve. You're not a government. Governments make money. All of us take money from somebody else or a business or a government. We take money from other things. So the easiest way to learn how to get good at taking money is to pay attention to every time someone takes money from you. So next time you buy a coffee, don't just buy the coffee and drink it and think nothing of it like every brokey. Don't do that. Say, okay, why am I buying this coffee? Okay, I want a coffee. All right. Why am I buying here? Well, this is on my way to work. Is there any competition around? Do I also want breakfast? Do they sell breakfast? No, they don't sell breakfast. They could probably make some more money if they're selling breakfast. Anyway, I walk in, there's a long line. Why is there one member of staff? I'm low on time. I'm about to leave and not buy the coffee. They're about to lose money because it's taking too long. Most of the people in this line are businessmen. Why is there not a cute girl behind the counter? I bet if they paid a cute girl a little bit more, they'd still make a bunch more money because people come in here to talk to her. Think. And then what you'll do is, as you go through life, every time you spend money, is you'll realize the problem is not how to make money. The problem is how much time you have, because there's endless business ideas. There's endless ideas. I walk into a coffee shop, and by the time I've walked out, I already know exactly how to open up next door and outcompete them head to toe. I already have worked out how much is the rent, where are they fucking up, what are they not selling that they should be selling, what are they doing good, what are they doing bad, this chair's too hard, I'll wreck them. And I'll send it, and now my network is so powerful, which is the second point, network, I can send a few messages on WhatsApp and make a bank transfer. And 2 months later, there's a brand new coffee shop next door with my name on it, put them out of business. So the first thing is you have to pay attention. Because if you pay attention, you'll start to learn that money is everywhere. Every building is owned. These are skyscrapers, bro. Billions. Every apartment nowadays is a million. Million. You drive down a street in London, you're driving past trillions of dollars. There's money everywhere. It's all around us. When I was broke, I thought that the world was broke. I thought that there was no money. And then I got rich and realized that I was completely and utterly wrong. There's so much money. It's everywhere. If I go to try and buy a plane or a jet, they're always sold out. My yacht is a fucking 6-year waiting list. I want a Bugatti. They launch it. The email comes to my email address. 2 minutes later, gone. Like, there's so much money. If I want a diamond watch or a $1 million watch or $1 million Rolex, you can't get this stuff. There is so much money out there. Once you get to a certain echelon, you realize there's money fucking everywhere. So there's plenty of money in the world. People with no money are just not very good at taking it. So you need to start paying attention. It's the first thing. Second thing is network. It's hard to make money if you don't know anybody who has money. If you sit in a room full of ice cream experts and all they talk about is ice cream, how to make ice cream, the different flavors, how to store it, how to move it, how to sell it, even by accident, if you hang around with these people long enough, when someone asks you a question about ice cream, guess what you're gonna know the answer. You're gonna say, you know what? That's because it's pistachio, and that needs to be 2 degrees higher than chocolate. And you're gonna look like a smart ass. So if you sit in a room full of people who are making a bunch of money, everyone understands this. Your network is your net worth. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody understands this. And then they still hang around with fucking losers because they're dummies. You're right. I am the sum of the 5 people I spend the most time with. Anyway, this is my friend Nick. He's so funny when we go drinking because he gets really drunk. Losers. I don't talk to anybody who is not winning. Everybody whose every phone call I will answer, if I answer a phone call, it is from a winner. I don't talk to losers. Everyone I talk to is rich. Everyone I talk to is making money. Everybody. If my entire reality is full of multimillionaires making money, how am I not going to make money? And this is why network is so important, is because it's the same reason that wolves hunt in packs. If you're a lone animal, you have one set of eyes. But if you're a pack, you're watching every single angle, every single side. Perhaps I might miss something. I'm as perspicacious as possible. But one of my friends identifies that the war in Ukraine is going to change and the Russian ruble is going to pump. And you can make a bunch of money on a Forex trade, for example. I may not have noticed, but he'll notice. Now I've made a bunch of $1 million for getting a text message, right? Because I have friends who are paying attention. All of us are paying attention. So your network is super important. That's another thing. We'll go into this because I have something called the War Room, which is also on corporatate.com. I'll let people read for themselves, but that's my private network. And we specifically talk about money and a few other things. But that's
is that like more like a mastermind?
It's the real world's how to make money, and the War Room's what to do with money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all on corporatate.com. I don't want to get off track, but it's there. But second is network. And third, it's to identify the reason why you don't have as much money as you want so far. And there's one of 3 reasons. You are either lazy, stupid, or arrogant. Those are the only 3 reasons anyone is poor. And you have to identify and choose which one it is. The majority of people are not the one they think they are. The majority of people are the one I'm about to say at the end. So let's start with lazy. There are a lot of lazy people. The unfortunate reality about money is that you are competing. So it's player versus player. It's like anything in the world. If you want that beautiful girl, so does everyone else. You have to win the competition. You want that car, you have to get it first. You want that money, everyone wants that money. You have to compete. It's competitive. Business is competitive. You are competing against people like me. You're competing against people like the people in my network. You're competing about people who only talk about money, who understand money very well, who operate in jurisdictions all around the planet, who are extremely well connected, who know things before you know them, who have mass influence and mass power and mass resource. You're competing against me. This is what you must understand. You're not waking up going, I want to make some money. You're competing against people like me. You're competing against billionaires. You're competing against hedge funds. How did these hedge funds keep growing? Where are they getting that money from? From the brokies. They're robbing you. They're robbing all the poor people from the pension fund. Dummy. That's where they get it from. This is who you're competing against. So the competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you're fucked. So when I say people are lazy, they go, I'm not lazy. I work hard every day. You work 8 hours a day? You work 8? The fuck? If I'm awake, I'm working. I'll be driving my Bugatti Chiron through Dubai working. I'm texting at the same fucking time. I don't take a second off. I don't take a minute off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None. Ever. I'm either asleep or at work. That's it. Second I wake up, I check my phone, I begin working. I go to the gym in between sets, I am working. I'm online working the entire fucking day until the second I go to sleep, I am at work. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me and you want to watch a movie tonight and then say you're not lazy. You're fucking lazy and you're going to lose forever. That's laziness. Next is stupid. I don't think many people are actually too stupid to be rich. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. A very small percentage of people are too dumb to be rich. The slave minds, they'll never be rich because the matrix tries to keep you poor because when you're poor, you can't think like we talked about earlier. So everything the media tells you is designed to make you poor. They want you broke and struggling because if you rely on the government for food stamps, then you can't argue with the government, can you? So that's what they want. So anyone who believes in the matrix and believes in media and believes in the lies they're told, anyone who sits there and goes, that's true, that it's literally designed to make you broke. That's why it's all a scam. Do your GCSEs, do your A-levels, get in debt, go to uni, get out, get a shit job, get a mortgage. Don't worry, when you've paid that mortgage off when you're 61, then you'll have enough money to go to Spain for holiday. Then your pension comes. Oh, government doesn't have the pension money anymore. Funny enough, hedge fund stole it.
Pay half your money in your life in tax.
Oops-de-doops. And then you wake up one day and go, whoa, I just got fucked. So the whole scam, the whole story is a lie because they want you broke. They don't want you rich. If you're rich, you won't listen to them. So all of it's a fucking lie. And intrinsically, we all know this, right? When I pull up in one of my 30 cars to a gas station and people look at me and they see a Lambo or a Ferrari or a Bugatti or a Koenigsegg, whatever I'm driving, nobody goes, wow, he went to school. No, they think drug dealer, gangster. They're thinking he broke the rules because anyone who follows the rules doesn't get shit. It's all a scam. It's all a fucking lie. So the slave minds are fucked, but those are the only ones who are too stupid to make money. Anybody who understands that the matrix is lying to them is smart enough. So very small percent are too stupid. Inside of our school, at the height of it, before the matrix attack, we're relaunching now. We had 175,000 students.
Wow.
When we had 175,000 students, maybe 2,000 we kicked out for being too stupid. It's step by step. Do this, do that, do this, and don't be lazy. The fuck? It's not that hard, right? So stupid's not the problem. So we have people who are lazy, very few are stupid, but the majority, the main reason most people are broke is because they are arrogant. I will sit here and say all the things I've said. I will do this, take time out of my life for free. Somebody at home will watch and digest it for free. They will agree with the things that are being said or at least be entertained enough to continue to watch. And then I'll say, I'll teach you how to make money online. CobraTate.com, you can join the real world. And they'll sit there and go, nah, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. They have these egos from fuck knows where because they didn't earn it. And they're just too arrogant to listen to anybody. I became world champion by listening to my coach. I didn't become world champion by walking in and saying, I'll do it myself. That's not how you get anywhere in life. You have to listen. If Mike Tyson were to walk in, or if Elon Musk were to walk in here and talk to me about money, I wouldn't be sitting there going, I could do that. I'd be like, oh, Mr. Elon, richest man in the world. Hello, very nice to meet you. Please, even though I already understand I don't want to launch a car brand or put rockets in space, please, you must know some things I don't know. How do you deal with the currency fluctuations? Does inflation impact how much it costs for you to send a rocket into space? Like, I'd ask him something that's useful, right? But some people are so brutally arrogant that they'll sit here and they'll listen to all the things I said, and they'll agree that I'm intelligent, and they'll agree I'm massively successful, but they'll sit there and go, yeah, but you know what? I'll do it myself. I don't want to join that school because, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. Everybody's fucking arrogant. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but it's not that simple because, the wife gets the kid, and you know what? And I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work, the way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. So what the fuck are you talking about? You just sat here and wasted 10 minutes of my time. I told you how to take your business of painting and decorating or whatever the fuck you're doing and make a serious amount of money. And now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay fucking broke. The fuck you want me to do? What level of arrogance? But this is people. They'll sit with a multimillionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn. So we all do. I'm not going to I can't play piano for shit. If the piano teacher walked in here and said, this is what you do, and I said, well, I like to move my hands this way. What kind of dumbass? But this is the arrogance people operate under. So I'd say 20% of people are lazy, 20 to 25%. A large portion of the world are not lazy. They're actually working exceptionally hard, but they're doing the wrong thing. 5% of people are too stupid. So say 25%, 5% is 30%. But 70% of people are brutally arrogant, and this is why they are poor. That's the truth.
And how did you make your first million?
Good question. I've talked about this already. It was an unorthodox strategy. I've talked about it at length, so I won't give the whole story because it's too long. But I identified a gap. I identified a market. I approached the scenario and the situation extremely professionally. And I worked exceptionally hard. And I made my first $1 million. So my first millions came from owning a webcam studio. So I saw a little advertisement in the corner of a web page saying, talk to live girls now. I've never been a porn guy. I'm not interested in that shit. But I was like, that's interesting. I know some girls who need some money. Boom, boom, boom. I put together this apparatus, extremely professional. No fucking sexual misconduct. No Dan Bilzerian. No threesomes. Nothing. Very professional. 50-somes if it's down. Very professional outfit. And I used all my business knowledge and all my life knowledge, and I applied it. I worked 22-hour days, I would say. I got to the point where I was so tired. But I'd say, you know what? Give me 20 minutes. And if I could hear the alarm go off, I'd get up. Sometimes I just slept clean through it, and I slept an hour or two. For months and months and months, and I built an empire. I built an insanely large empire at one point. I'm completely out of that business now. But how did I do it?
As in, did you sell it?
I didn't sell it. I just closed it all down. I moved on. I started making a bunch of money, and I found other opportunities. But how did I get that opportunity? Perspicacity. First thing I said, pay attention. I paid attention. I looked at the girl. I'll give you the coffee shop example. This is what I did. I clicked on that advert. I saw the girl sitting there, miserable, waiting for a customer. I thought nobody's going to buy from an unhappy bitch. The men who are paying her are trying to escape an unhappy life, or they wouldn't be doing this shit. So when I got my girls online, smile. Happy girls get paid. That was the token. That was the slogan. Happy girls get rich. Joking. Ha ha ha. Who's you going to pay? You're going to pay the girls like, yeah, having a blast. So I paid attention to the competition. I saw an opportunity just like the coffee shop. So all the things they did wrong. The room was messy. Camera quality was shit. There's the basic stuff. The way the girl acted and interacted. All that stuff. And I applied it all by paying attention countless hours watching everybody else, finding the way to do it better, just like with the coffee shop, and I did it better. So I was absolutely and utterly perspicacious, and that's how you make money. And I did it with that, but I could have done it with anything. And now I do it with everything. The story of me sending a text message via my network and having a coffee shop is a true story. I've been in there maybe twice. I don't even go. And I have mechanisms in place to make sure I'm not robbed too badly, because unfortunately a little bit of cash goes missing. But everything's in place and it makes me money. I don't think I've even drunk my own coffee. I identified, I put together a list. It needs to be like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. I have competent people who work for me, which is very hard to find, but I do. They understand to follow the doctrine to the doctrine. And I'm getting money into a bank account. That's it. And you can do that with literally anything if you have a strong network and you pay attention. You can do anything. Even podcasts. We're doing a podcast right now. You guys are already big and successful at this. I'm telling you, you can look at the biggest podcasts in the world and still see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. That's the game. That's the game. And then you have to outcompete everybody else. That's how.
And what's your net worth now?
You know what's? It's kind of funny because
is that sigh? That's the shittest question so far on this show.
No. It's I don't actually really know, because they say if you don't know what you've got, they say if you know what you got, you ain't got much, and it's so fucking true. I don't know how much that coffee shop is worth. I know what it makes me roughly a month. I don't know what I could sell it for. I can guess now, like if I were to put a 6 times multiplier on it, you know, I could guess. But then what am I doing for every property? How much are all my properties worth? Fuck knows. Different than when I bought them. So the price has gone up, down. I don't even check. Don't know. So how much all the property worth? I can guess. How much the business is worth? I could guess. How much is my brand worth? If I put my name to something, it sells. I've been offered $50, $60, $70 million to sell junk to children, which I wouldn't do because I have too much morals. How much is my brand worth? I'm the most Googled man on the fucking planet. God knows. Like, I couldn't guess. I would guess that because there's different metrics of measuring the value of, say, a business, sometimes they'll put a 3 times multiplier on it, sometimes they'll put an 8 times multiplier on it. Let's put it this way. Hustlers University, 175,000 students, was doing about $13 million a month profit. That's an online educational company. Online is the future. Education is the future. It was seamless, fantastic. It outcompeted Oxford, Cambridge, everybody. It was the best school on the planet. Not just because we had 175,000 students, because we retained 175,000 students. That's the key. 175,000 people were making more money than they invested each month. There's no other platform on the planet that can do that. We had no competition. There was no other online digital learning platform that was even 1% as close. We were the largest online digital teaching platform on the planet. And everybody wants to make money. So everybody wants to join. Male, female, rich country, poor country. That's $13 million a month that was doing. So what's that? $120, $130 million a year? 8 times multiplier? What's that worth? 800 million by itself? Like, depending how you want to estimate it, I can sit here and say I'm worth $200 million or $1 billion. I could be a billionaire with net worth for the things I own, things I'm in control of. Depends on how you want to analyze it. So the reason I side is because I don't have a clue how much money I'm worth. I don't know. I know that if I want shit, I get it. I know that the world is effectively free now. I'm at a point of money where I never, ever contemplate the price of anything ever. The whole world, the only way I can explain being ridiculously rich is that everything is completely free. So if you want something, even 1%, even if you want something a little bit, the cost is 0% consideration. So I have 30 cars. I tried to stop at 10, but the car owners know I'm going to buy them, right? So they decide to launch a new Lambo and they text me and go, hey, new Lambo. I don't even ask to see a picture. I'm just like, okay. Because I'm not going to notice the money going missing. So why not at least, I might only glance at it for 3 seconds. I may never even drive it. I might just go, oh, yeah, it's all right. That's worth the money to me because the money is worth nothing. So the whole world is free. If I want coffee, it's like I buy and do things like the same way a person not even buys a coffee, like a penny sweet. It's just like, oh, fuck it. All right. It doesn't mean anything. I can't explain it. I don't have a clue how much money I'm worth. I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. I just know I can have whatever I want.
Hey, before you go, if you want to watch the full uncut interview with Andrew Tate, no holes barred like you've never seen before, you can watch it here. And before you go, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn the notification bell on. And remember, if you don't risk anything, you risk everything.
What are 3 things you believe that you need to be happy in this world today?
One of the only things in this world you can control is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control your health. You might get a brain hemorrhage. You might get hit by a bus. One of the very few things in the world you have genuine control over is your state of mind. You decide if you're a disciplined person. You decide if you're a happy person. You decide if you're a depressed person. These are things that in real time you can affect in your brain. This is all you can control on earth. If you can't control that, then you're just a feather in the wind. And life's going to blow you around and you might land somewhere good. You might land in dog shit. Nobody knows. Your state of mind is what you should be able to control. If you can't wake up and say, today I'm making some money, and actually try your very, very best, and actually stay dedicated to that task. If you can't do that, you're fucked.
The human mind is a massively misunderstood and underused chemical factory. That's all it is. It's the reason you feel happy. It's the reason you feel sad. It's the reason you feel excited. It's only chemicals in your brain. And I think if you try and take conscious control of your mind and force yourself to feel what you want, when you want, you can truly start to feel emotions on command. I don't think that men should ever consider how happy they are. I think that for a man, the paradigm of analyzing yourself based on your mood is an incorrect way to approach life. I don't think it makes you competitive. I just don't think it makes you competitive. I feel like as a man, life is ultra competitive and you're constantly competing against other men, whether you realize it or not. The girl you want, other men want. If you get her, it's a competition. The dollar you want, other men want. If you get it, it's a competition. The status you want, other men want. If you get it, you won the competition. Man, life as a man is hyper competitive and you need to build a mindset that allows you to compete at the highest echelons, at the highest levels. And in my experience, the people who compete at the highest levels are not people who have any concern or care for how they feel on the day. You are a man with duties. You're a man with responsibilities. You must perform. You have things you must do, and you must do them regardless of how you feel. Whether you feel happy or you feel sad, you must still train. So considering it's not going to affect your actions, why even take it into consideration at all? Why does it matter? I don't look at myself and go, how do I be happy? I look at myself and go, how do I succeed and do everything I want to do and become competent and be successful? That's what I'm worried about, achieving my goals daily. Happiness is a byproduct. It's a side piece. But if you're going to wake up and go, I want to be happy, well, yeah, to a degree, it's feminine. It's also very childish because only women and children are so obsessed with happiness. But it doesn't make you competitive because if you're concerned with being happy, that means you're only going to perform when you feel like it. That means you can't outcompete the men who perform every day regardless. And that's why, as a man, you need to be building a mindset that makes you as competitive as possible. And I think that considering happiness as a concept, as an idea in and of itself is a bad idea. I think it's a mistake. So it doesn't even cross my mind if I'm happy. It doesn't even cross my mind. I've got shit to do.
Every man understands you shouldn't be complaining about things you cannot change. You have to play the cards you're dealt. To be born a certain height and then to sit there and go, what do I do? Well, I'll tell you what you do. You become the best version of yourself, just like everyone else does. Nothing about the height is in and of itself enough value for me to be a valuable man. As a man, you build your value. You are born with the cards you're dealt. Sure, it'd be ideal. Look, I'd love to be 7 foot tall. I'm not. So it's the same argument. If you're 5'2", you need to become rich, strong, and funny and charismatic and interesting and witty. If you're 6'4", you need to become rich, strong, well-connected. It's the same game. So to sit there and complain about it is asinine.
People email me their long lists of all the bad things that happen to them, and I reply, fantastic. You are so lucky. You have all the building blocks to become the exact kind of man you want to be. If none of this shit happened to you, when something else bad happens to you later, you wouldn't be able to deal with it. Fantastic. Bad things happened to Batman. They killed his parents. Do you understand? That's why he's Batman. You've just told me you have the building blocks. You might become top G when I retire. What are you complaining about? He goes, well, what do I do? I said, you need to work. Take all that trauma. If you're truly heartbroken, my friend, and we've all been there as men, if you're truly heartbroken, you can't sleep. That means you're going to get in fantastic shape. You better hit the gym. You have nothing else to do. Stop watching YouTube. Stop emailing me. I want pictures of you in the gym. Get to fucking work. Heartbreak's a fantastic motivator, as is depression, as is sadness. Great. Look at what's pissing you off and make sure it never happens again. If you were jacked and rich as fuck, she probably wouldn't have left your ass.
All of you have a handful of this. I don't think you understand that. You could have been in a car crash at 4 years old and lost your legs. If you have any understanding of how lucky you have been, this is pure luck. There's no this only luck has kept you fully able-bodied, sitting there, capable of learning and listening and becoming something. You don't really need to be that tall if you're important and rich. And when you walk in the room, you think when fucking Mayweather walks in the room, people give a shit? Fix that frame in your mind. You are viewing yourself as a short man. Stop it. Walk the fuck up and be the man.
I was a 4-time kickboxing world champion. For 12 years, I trained 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was motivated to train probably about 25% of the time. The rest of the time I went because I am disciplined. You don't feel like going through that shit on a Wednesday morning when you wake up, but you have to do it because you're disciplined. You're either a disciplined individual or you are not a disciplined individual. There's a difference between want and want. And I say this all the time. People say to me, I want to be rich. And I say, okay, well, I want to be able to ice skate, but I don't want to be able to ice skate enough to go learn how to ice skate because I can't be bothered. I mean, surely if I could click my fingers and be a figure skater, I'd click my fingers. Who wouldn't? Well, I don't want to actually go train because I don't want it enough. And this is the exact point with money. Everyone wants money put on their lap. If you truly wanted money, you wouldn't be able to sleep until you fucking had it. And this is the point. Because when I had nothing, I couldn't be distracted. You couldn't distract me from what I wanted. That's who I am. If I want something, I'm going to get it. I do not need to be motivated. I'm a disciplined person. If I allocate X amount of time to work, I'm going to do it. But that is the bottom line answer. It's discipline. You're going to have to work when you don't feel like working. That's how it's going to have to be, or you're never going to be eating.
The idea that men don't feel emotions is incorrect. We feel emotions. I would actually argue we feel emotions with certain emotions stronger than women. I would argue that we feel heartbreak stronger than women. I would argue we feel anger like a woman could never understand. I would argue we are extremely emotional. Rage, pure rage. It's feedback. So when you get the feedback, it's all about how you internalize that and how you process it, right? It's having stoicism's not feeling emotions. It's feeling the emotion and going, okay, why is this happening? How much does this really matter? What's the most intelligent move on the chessboard? Chess is a fantastic game because in the game of chess, there's no luck. If you lose, no matter how well you played, if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. Even if it's the most minor mistake, you made a mistake. So you learn to understand that no matter what happens to you, if you lose a scenario, you made a mistake. Maybe it's a tiny one. Maybe it was 2 years ago, whatever, but you made a mistake and you learn absolute and utter accountability for yourself. And that mentality is extremely powerful to apply to all things in life. The position I'm in now as the most hated man in the world, although I agree and I truly believe it's unfair, I still take complete responsibility for. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm telling you why it happened when I talk about TikTok and YouTube shorts, but I'm not going to blame them. Absolutely. They're a company making money and they're monetizing the best they can. Fantastic. All of this is my fault. But the Bugatti on my drive is my fault. And the yacht is my fault. Private jet's my fault. So it's all my fault. So I take the good with the bad. I take all responsibility for absolutely everything, including if a woman leaves me, if a woman stays, if I end up heartbroken, if I end up filled with rage, I take responsibility for that. If something happens to me that makes me enraged, I will take responsibility. Why has this happened to me? Why do I feel this way? How did I end up in this position? Consuming content in a whole is kind of part of it. You have to be very careful and curate the things you listen to. Like obviously this podcast has value and the people listening are doing the right thing, but there's a whole bunch of kids who are just consuming constant shit. Like we're talking about Twitch and the garbage. It's difficult out there for young people. I think it's extremely distracting world. We have the biggest companies in the world with the most advanced AI and tech in the world designed to keep you distracted and addicted to screens, watching shit that is no good for you. So it's hard. And yeah, the kids are glued to social media and glued to their screens and obsessed with all this crap. And of course they are, because it's designed to be obsessive, and they have to make sure they're taking it in a way that's good for them. Inside of my school, the real world, we actually have an entire course on regaining attention and focus, because we noticed that anyone below the age 25 can't focus on anything. If you were to say, here's how you make money, go, they'd try, but after 10 minutes, because it's not flashing colors and dopamine, they can't do it. They can't read anything. They can't focus on anything. They're just addicted to TikTok screens. It's just new video, new video, new video, new video. So like people have lost their minds in real time. They've lost their ability to focus on anything. So we actually have to teach that again to the younger people. It's truly crazy. It's absolutely insane. I've had scenarios in my life where I was prepared to die to protect somebody else, and I was enraged, and it was healthy. I've also had times where I'm in a room by myself, enraged, sitting there going, this is no good for anybody. I need to just calm the fuck down. So emotions are feedback, but stoicism is the ability to process it. And that's what you need to be learn as a man. You're never going to be able to turn them off. You're going to feel them. You have to learn how to process them and turn them into a positive. It's energy. It's unlimited energy. I say this all the time. I say that the biggest periods of transformation in my life is when everything was going wrong. When my life was going good, I'm not a hedonistic person. I don't do drugs. I don't gamble. I don't do prostitutes. I don't do anything that hedonistic. But I'll certainly go on the yacht with a bunch of women I know and chill and have some vodkas and that kind of thing. When life's smooth, then it's semi-hedonistic, pretty relaxed. But when I make my biggest progress, when I really change who I am and change the world, that's when everything's fucked. When things go wrong, or I'm feeling things I don't want to feel, or bad things are happening, that's when I'm like, okay, I currently cannot sleep. I've completed the day's tasks. I've tried to go to bed. I can't sleep. More shit has to be done. That's when the amazing things happen in my life. When I was heartbroken, when I was whatever, everyone's been heartbroken. I can't remember a specific example. I hit the gym harder, right? If something goes wrong with your payment processor, that's when you get fucking inventive. That's business, right? That's when you get inventive. So all the bad things that happen to you as a man, if you're stoic, you get to take unlimited energy
Heartbreak is unlimited energy. So is depression. So is rage. So is sadness. All these negative emotions they tell you to collapse behind. It's like people talk like, Bruce Lee says, be like water. And people see that as be fluid and just go with the flow. I disagree. If you're like water, you're necessary for life. You are scary when you're enraged. You're powerful. You're beautiful when you're calm. You're so many things when you're like water, right? So if I'm enraged, it's like water behind a dam. You just got to put the dam in place, and you go get the turbo, the hydroelectrics put in. Don't tsunami your life. Put the energy somewhere.
Let's say your son comes to you. He's 14. He says, Dad, what's the best piece of advice you can give me right now?
I feel like you should just always act like you're being watched by people you really respect and love. And it doesn't matter if it's in the gym, they're watching you to see how hard you train, or in that job interview, they're watching you to see how you perform, see how confident you can be, watch you put your suit on, make sure your tie's straight. I feel like you need to have a sense of duty to people who existed before you or who have given up their lives so you exist. And you need to try very hard to make sure your last name means something important. So the best advice I can give is just keep in mind there's a whole bunch of people who love you, who are looking out for you, who really care about you, and who have done a lot for you to exist as a person. And you owe them a lot of things, and you owe them your absolute best in all realms. You owe them to try your hardest and to not disappoint them. And you don't get the luxury of just existing and sitting around playing video games and being happy, being sad, eating food, whatever. All of that's by the by. You have a big debt to pay to your family, to your ancestors, to God, and you have to try very hard. And keep that in mind and let that motivate you to be your best self.
If God decides that I don't need nightmares anymore, I'll fathom out how to stop it. If God decides I need to wake up in the middle of the night in a sweat, fearful or afraid they're coming to get me, then that's God's plan for me, and that's what I'm going to deal with. I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid of any of these things. I'm not afraid of feeling bad. Now, I'm not a coward. And I want to make this very clear. I'm not a coward. I don't care if I don't sleep again for the rest of my life. I refuse to take any fucking pill, and I refuse to sit and have my mind altered by anything I do not control. I don't care if I have nightmares for the rest of human time.
Right.
As long as I'm in charge of my mind, I'm in charge of my life. If God decides that I don't need nightmares anymore, I'll fathom out how to stop it. If God decides I need to wake up in the middle of the night in a sweat, fearful or afraid they're coming to get me, then that's God's plan for me, and that's what I'm going to deal with. I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid of any of these things. I'm not afraid of feeling bad. I'm not afraid of anxiety. I'm not afraid of panic. This is one of the things I think a lot of men out there struggle with is they're so worried and afraid of bad feelings. And to me, that's just showing that you've had an easy life. Like there's real people out here who are trying to kill you. There's people out here who put a knife in your neck. You're scared of what? Feeling sad? Like there's real problems. What are you worried about feeling sad for? Who gives a shit? I could feel sad for the rest of my life, and I guarantee one, nobody would know, and two, I would be monumentally successful regardless. So why are we even talking about it? I have no fear for a negative feeling. I have fear for me not being able to provide for my children. I have fear for people who rely on me not being provided for and cared for. But I don't have I don't wake up and go, I'm worried if I might feel sad today. Who cares? Who cares? I can be happy or sad on the same day. Nobody notices, and the same things get done. Exact same amount of work gets done. Nothing changes. Am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to feel good?
No, it's not happy.
No, of course, but this is what I don't understand about people, especially men in the world today. Why are they so worried about being afraid? Why are they so worried about, I was afraid every time I fought.
Yeah.
I fought anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't let fear guide what I'm going to do. I do what I'm supposed to do regardless of how I feel. So I don't see anything wrong with feeling fearful. I don't see anything wrong with feeling stressed or under pressure or anxious. All these things men are trying to get rid of. And I talk about men specifically. I gender this because I'm a man. I don't know how it feels to be a woman. But all these things that people are trying very hard to get rid of from their brains, I don't see why they need to leave. I will argue the point that if I feel anxious and pressured and stressed and fearful, I will get more done than if I was happy. I think if I was happy, I'd just be hedonistic and just wasting my time. I think that you get a whole bunch done with these negative connotations and negative emotions, and I think that life is suffering and pain, and you're here to go through it, and the sooner you get used to the taste, the more successful you're going to be. I have no interest in trying to change the flavor, my friend. The flavor of life is pain, and I will eat all of it. And it doesn't matter if they put me back in jail or not. I'm not sitting there going, how can I be happy in jail? jail. I will sit in jail and say, yes, this sucks. It's supposed to suck. Yes, I'm not enjoying this. Yes, I'm anxious and paranoid. And yes, that guy might stab me. And yes, I can't sleep and I miss my family. And this is what's supposed to happen to me. And this is how I become the best man I can possibly be. And I'm going to succeed regardless. If I had an affliction, I would like to be my own doctor. And I think with your mind, you can do a lot of it yourself. And I think if you have a very strict framework in how you measure how successful you are as a human, and I do it through competence and achievement, I say, which mindset do I need to achieve as much as I can possibly achieve?
Right.
I think the only thing better than having everything you want is not wanting anything, right? So I have every car on this planet. I have 40 supercars. Most people want a supercar. I have 40. But there's that unique 0.1% of people who genuinely don't want one. And I think that's more freeing than having everything you want, right? So the true mindset is not wanting anything. Most people, the best they can do is having everything they want. And I feel like you can kind of do this with the emotions as well. I guess my general consensus is that I don't think I can change or affect the world to the point where pain and suffering and bad things are not going to happen. So isn't it best if I just enjoy all of that? Doesn't that make me as powerful as possible if I say, oh yeah, okay, this is going to suck. Good. I mean, I do it when I fight. Yesterday I was fighting, right? We were doing 12 rounds and all of us were destroyed. And the more he hurt me, the more I wanted to hurt him back. The more he hurt me, the better it felt. The more powerful I felt, the more he hit me. Because then it's my turn, right? So if I can't stop him from punching me, and I'll do my best, but if I can't, then surely you should learn to enjoy it, right? And I don't think you can stop life from hitting you. And I don't think you can stop life from giving you unexpected surprises. And I don't think you can stop yourself from feeling sometimes sad or anxious or upset. So I think the best mindset you could adopt is finding that engaging and exciting. I'm not going to lie to you. Although I am facing very serious charges, and although they are trying to destroy my life, and although I cannot sleep the same, and although they're out to get me, and although I've suffered, part of me is excited. Part of me is like, okay.
Why?
Because it's a war.
You like war.
I think all men do.
I do.
Yeah, of course. All men do. So it's a battle.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. So I'm not saying I'm glad it happened, because I'm certainly not. And I'm not saying I'm going to win, but I'm saying that I've trained myself to the point where if I were walking down the street and 10 men were to pull knives on me, I'd be intimidated, but 20% of me would go, this is going to be one to remember.